Hey, how's it going? It's Carl, aka Carl Drum Tech. I'm here right now in the island of Kauai in the state of Hawaii. Right now I'm in front of this pagoda here for the, I guess is the Kauai Chinese Association or something like that. And you can see these beautiful mountains behind me. I'm actually on the campus of the Kauai Community College, and I just thought, just driving around, saw this place, and what a cool place to do a video blog. And today I wanted to talk about, kind of like a follow-up to my last video blog, in terms of just how to be a leader and how to be a good leader and what it means to be a good leader, what you have to do and things like that. And like I said in the previous video, there's so many things to talk about, there's so many concepts, and it's just really difficult to kind of tackle because it's so complicated, because it's hard to be a good leader and to kind of dissect exactly what those characteristics are. It's easier said than done, and when you look at it, it's really a challenge and it's really a game of trying to figure out, what makes people tick and try to influence them in a certain way without negativity, right? Because like at the end of the day, if you give negativity, people are still going to do what you want because, they don't want to get yelled at. They don't want people to be mad at them. So they might do it, but they might do it out of spite. They might do it just because they don't want to get yelled at, and it's just not as inspiring. And you may not get their best work from them. Rather than if you were actually positive and you were more encouraging, and if you were just overall just respecting them as a human being, right? So one of the follow-up topics that came about in that discussion is that, well, what if, I'm in that situation, right? It's like, my video is kind of directed towards leaders and the instructors, and, if your last resort is to yell at people, sorry, I was just checking the camera just to make sure that, it's still recording. And if your last resort to, get people to do what you need them to do is to yell at them and to get negative, then you're kind of like, you're not being very creative, and you're not being very resourceful, and you're not being very smart, right? So, what if you're in the opposite situation? What if you are that student? What if you are the person who is getting yelled at by your leader or your session leaders and things like that? What do you do in that situation? Well, I think, what you got to do is you got to take it, as best as you can in terms of just whatever feedback you get is positive. And, no matter what, even if it is laced with negativity, there is something in that comment that is going to help you get better, right? So if somebody says, I don't know, like what if they say, your feet are like, they're out of phase, like, fix it. Yes, it sounds negative, but if you take the negativity out of it, you take the emotion out of it, you take away the emotion that you might react to, it's still at the very core, make sure your feet are in time and they're not phasing with the beat, right? So you can still get something from that, and it's still gonna help you get better. So make sure you take any comment and you use that to your advantage, no matter what. Whatever energy is behind it, use it to your advantage. And just like, the best thing to do is just kind of tune it out. It's all, at the end of the day, it's just noise, okay? So if you go around the world, there's all kinds of negativity all the freaking time. There's people who are negative. There's people who, who might yell at you. There's people who just like, are just like kind of angry at the world, and it's like they're not angry at you per se. It's just more like this just comes from within. Everybody's in charge of their own emotions, and it's not necessarily the stimulus around them that's making them like that. It's really just within, right? Like for example, if you guys drive and things like that, like you see people who are tailgating, and then they honk at one person, right? They honk at them because the person moving in front of them is moving too slow, so they don't have patience. They honk, they get mad, so they're gonna go and kind of like bypass that person, go behind the next person and do the same exact thing and start honking, start getting mad and stuff like that. Well, they're not mad at those people, right? It's like, it's really from within them. They're the ones that have the problem. It's not the people who are causing, quote unquote, the frustration or the negative emotions, right? So you have to look at it that way. You have to be empathetic about people and kind of see like why people act the way they do. And it's gonna just help you have this understanding and this empathy for, okay, this person's acting this way. It's not necessarily personal. It's not necessarily towards me. It's, in some ways, it's a personal problem that they have, that they need to work out, and I can't take that. I can't internalize that, and I can't be affected by that because I'm trying to be the best that I can be, and I can't have anything distracting me from doing just that. So that's my suggestion. If you are in that situation where you are getting that negative feedback, again, like I said, use it to your advantage. Just remove all the noise of the negativity that you might feel, and take it for what it is. Take it for its base root value of a comment that's going to make you better, and use it. Okay. So now, what if you're in a situation where you're trying to give advice or give commentary to somebody else in the group or the drumline or whatever marching band, and let's say you don't have the authority, all right, you don't have the title, and you don't have that, camaraderie between with another person to give them that comment, right? Well, my number one recommendation is don't do it, okay? Because it's just, I remember when I was marching and I was like close to aging out in the drum corps, we had a very young drum major who was much younger than I was, and it was very hard for me to take the instruction that he was giving me because he was younger, just because he was less experienced than me. And it's like, who the hell is this kid? Like, why is he talking to me the way he is, right? Even though he had the authority, right? And it's just like, it's still hard to hear. Well, if you are in a similar situation, it's possible that you're going to feel the same kind of, you're going to get that same kind of reaction from yourself. It's very human, right? It's like, we all have egos. And if people give us instruction or correct us, in some ways it's hurting our ego because we're not as good as we thought we were, right? It's like, I'm above commentary, I'm above this and all that. It's not everybody's going to react that way towards like, oh great, I'm going to take this comment and I'm going to make myself better. It's like, that is the ideal world, and you wish that people would take it like that, but sometimes that's just not going to happen. In the real world, whether that's outside the drumline or marching band, people react the same way. People have egos. You have to give them commentary in such a way that is very positive and respectful and not just condescending and yelling at them, right? It's like, do this, do that. You can't do it that way. So if I had any suggestions for you, if you needed to, you felt compelled to give this comment because you feel like it's going to help them and it's going to help the rest of the group, do it in a very informal and respectful way. So for example, during a break, lunch, any kind of downtime in rehearsal, say, hey, I just noticed, your 12-inch high isn't exactly hitting 12 inches, it's hitting like 10 inches. So just try, you don't have to take it or not, but just, just make sure that you bring it up to 12 inches. And they can take it or not. They're not under any obligation to take that information and use it, all right? But, you have to have that vibe of, it's okay, I'm just gonna give this to you to help you. If you don't want it, cool. If you use it, that's also cool. Because at the end of the day, right, it's like, the section leaders, that's their job to give that commentary, or the instructors. So if you don't have that clout, if you don't have that rapport with that other person, if you don't have the official authority to give that comment, that's the only way you can do it. You can't be in that position of authority telling them what to do, all right? But if you want to do it, you really want to help the group, like I said, try it that way and see if that helps you. Otherwise, don't do it at all, okay? But I just think overall, in general, that is the best way to go. Positive, respectful, and understanding of people's egos and being very empathetic. Understanding that, if that happened to you and the roles were reversed, sure, you could say, yeah, I might respond differently, or I might, be respectful, and I'll take that comment and, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. But you're not always going to feel that way, and not everybody is always going to feel that way. So you have to be empathetic towards that and just understand that people can react in certain different ways. And even if you give them a comment that's supposed to help them, they don't have any obligation to listen to you, all right? No matter who you are, because you're not obligated to anything, you're not entitled to anything, and that goes for the rest of your life and how the world works. And there's so much conflict and so much people getting mad at each other because there's this entitlement feeling that they have, or where they feel like people owe it to them because they're giving something. Nobody owes you anything. Remember that for life. That's going to help you out in the long run. And lastly, I think that instructors and leaders, when they give comments and they give instructions, and the people under them, they don't do what they need them to do, or they don't do it exactly as asked, and if they get mad, it's not necessarily because they're mad at that person, because this activity there's so much high pressure. We have competitions, we're judged, and it's like we have these competitions at certain dates, and we have to get good at a certain time. There's so much pressure. It's just like, we got to get this done, and if it doesn't happen, it's on the leaders, it's on the instructors. Their names are on the program. It's the leader's name that's like, I'm the leader of this group and they suck, it's on me, right? So sometimes when they give that, or if I'm speaking to you as a leader, if you give instruction and people don't do what you need them to do, your ego comes into play, and it goes like, oh crap, I suck, I'm not doing my job well, and I need to put pressure on these guys because it's going to help me. Well, guess what? When you're helping people, when you're helping your line, when you're giving instruction to individual people, it shouldn't be about you. Again, that's another cause of major problems in this world, is people have this entitlement, like me, it's all about me. You have to help me. I'm doing this for me. That's the undertone that you're giving if you're getting mad, if you're getting frustrated. If you're helping somebody out to help them, remember that it should be totally 100% about them. You're helping them. Try that and have that feeling behind every single word that you say, and trust me, you're gonna get a totally different reaction, because it's like you're giving this comment and there's that undertone of like, it's about me, you better do this, because like, you know, if we don't perform well, then it's gonna look bad on me. It's gonna come across in your tone, it's gonna come across in your body language, and that person's gonna be like, oh man, this person's just yelling at me because, you know, they need something for them, right? That's what's gonna happen. So understand how the world works, understand how people, you know, act and how they think, and it's gonna help you out in the long run. And I'm not sitting here telling you like, I know everything. I know exactly how people think. You know, I'm still learning this thing to this day. Every single interaction, every single relationship that I have, I'm still learning all these things. But these are the things that I've learned as I've tried to dissect all my social relationships and how I deal with people. So I'm offering this to you as something that can help you. So you can use it or not. You don't have to. You are under no obligation to listen to me whatsoever. But try it and see what happens. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. This is a lot of fun doing it here. It's a great location, and I'm just enjoying my vacation here and putting out this content for you. So if you like this video, please do me a favor and like the video, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, or if you have any suggestions for any kinds of video blogs that you want me to cover, make sure you leave it in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you waiting for? Make sure you subscribe right now, hit that button. What the heck are you waiting for? Do it right now, all right? And if you have done it already, thank you so much. And if you feel like a friend or somebody else that you know could benefit from this video, if you feel like your whole group can benefit from this, make sure you share this video, share it on all your social media outlets, and I would appreciate you if you did that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys once again for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, take care, aloha, mahalo, peace out.